Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Jamila Got the Juice. I wanted to come and talk about something a bit different today. So this morning I woke up, the TL was in flames because obviously I had been asleep when all of this was happening. But yeah, obviously Twitter brought back up the whole colorism argument, and I've been wanting to talk about this for a little while. It is between our own people most of the time. So me personally, obviously I am a black girl, so these comments and stuff does affect me. Obviously the comments surfacing around dark-skinned women in particular, I'm just going to give my opinion. I can't give a direct like, oh, this has affected me, because obviously, as you guys can see, I'm brown skin, I'm not really dark skin, so I don't know the exact same emotions that they have been through, but I can empathize with them as a black woman. So I'm going to get into some of the tweets. Your faves are actually colorists and we never knew. But okay, so we have a tweet from RV, a popular drill rapper, if you guys know. He said, black girls are forbidden, white girls and latties are the future. We have Paigey Keiki saying, your mum's an ape, lol, obviously replying to some sort of beef that she was having on the TL at the time. Ivorian doll saying, you look like a turned off light bulb, honey, you're dark. Even have Nella Rose saying black girls abuse fake eyelashes, white girls wear weave, black girls abuse it. Females don't know how to act when it comes to awkward situations, so black girls act rowdy to distract the audience for the subject. We have Lippy Lick Shot here saying, if I end up being with a black girl, the man them are allowed to rush me, how rude. We also have Mr. 200 meters saying, you hardly ever hear someone say a black girl, you light up my world. They're too black for that. At this point, what you have now realized is that all your faves are colorists. But let me get into it, okay? See, now, people usually excuse this behavior using age as a barrier, saying, oh, when I was 16, I was very immature. But me personally, in my opinion, you cannot use age against such hatred comments, because when I was 16 years old, 17, 18, I didn't come out my mouth and say dark-skinned girls are monkeys, or dark-skinned girls are this, or black girls are loud and rowdy, or black girls wear too much eyelashes and have too much weave. When I was the same age as these people that when they were tweeting in 2012, 2013, they would have been around the age of 16, 17. I wasn't tweeting these things. I didn't think these things to even come out my mouth. So I feel like there's deeper issues than age, and I don't want anybody to use their age as an excuse. You can be embarrassed by what you've tweeted. I can understand that fully, well, knowingly that you've said something wrong. You can be embarrassed, but to blame your age on it, to me, is unacceptable, because people at the same age were not saying the same thing that you were saying, so it must be a deeper issue. So now I'm going to get into that. Now, a lot of these tweets that have resurfaced are coming from influencers and personalities that are the age, I'm guessing, 23 and over. I only say this because back then, when they were 16 years old, I think that the culture towards black people was a lot different. I feel like, as me having a sister that is of that kind of age caliber, I think black people are treated very differently back then in the UK, especially black women. I feel as if they were not seen as desirable. It wasn't a trend to be black and love yourself. Like, now, as much as it is, like, we have the whole Black Lives Matter, Black Girl Magic, stuff like that, there wasn't that kind of platform and push back then, so people weren't really valuing black women as a whole. That's why you see a lot of rappers in this day and age have light-skinned girlfriends or racially ambiguous girlfriends, because it wasn't desired to be seen with a black woman. You get more ratings if you're with a lighter skinned woman, because she became more beautiful to the eye of many people, instead of black women, as they are beautiful, being glorified more than these other races. I think this factor comes down to a lot of things as to why people feel like that. Now, going to secondary school, me personally, I went to a predominantly black secondary school, but I know a lot of other people came from secondary schools that may have been predominantly white, or grown up in different countries where it was a predominantly white country, even though the UK is, but you know what I'm saying, like, we're a lot more diverse. Grew up in Germany, the Netherlands. I'm trying to think of where other black people, because there's a lot of German and Netherlands black people. Like, obviously, growing up in a country where everyone's predominantly white. You may go to a predominantly white school. They may slander you for your skin tone, the way you look. They may have projected a lot of racism onto you. So obviously now, as a child, you taking that in, you're going to internalize a lot of those dark feelings about yourself. And this is where some of these tweets, I believe, have come into play. Ella Rose, she wasn't born in this country. She was born in the Netherlands, if my knowledge is correct. So she grew up there for a little while. So she obviously must have experienced some sort of racism and colorism onto her while she was younger, and she's taken this into her older years. Now, obviously, she's a big like push for like black women and stuff like that. But back then, she probably didn't like herself as much as she does right now for being black. And that's just the truth. Like, I can't speak for her personally. I can't speak for any of these people's personally. This is just my opinion on the whole situation. So before anybody wants to come and drag me or come down my throat, I actually don't care, because I'm not the one that tweeted that. You can search my name on Twitter at Jamelia got the J1 and type black or anything to do with black people next to it, and you're not going to find a tweet, because I'm pro-black and period. I don't slander black people, so at this point, I'm not going to be taking no wahala, okay? So yeah, that brings me to my next point of cancel culture. Now, because all of this has happened and most of them are really like big people who have YouTube platforms or doing music, or like they're just influencers in general, they're going to get dragged now on Twitter. People are going to be sending them like hate comments and all sorts. Like, I think it's a thing where most of them are going to make like apologies, but at the end of the day, like, if you wrote it back then and you wrote it with chest and you posted it with chest, you had to double check before you read it, you press send, like, you knew what you were doing. So it's one of them ones you can apologize and say, oh, like, I feel bad about the comments I made at the time, but don't act like you didn't mean it, because you did. Clearly you did. Like, you can't say things like, such as Yasmin Diaz, you can't say things like, oh, I wish I was light skin or white. Being light or white skin is better than being a black person. You can't say things like that and then say you didn't mean it, okay? You meant it, but just apologize and just embrace that you were just a different person back then. And yeah, but don't act like you didn't mean it. That's what I don't like about people when they come in with apologies. They start to act like they didn't mean it, but you meant it with your whole chest. That's why you posted it on the TL. And you probably felt this way about yourself for a long time. But don't project your feelings of self-hatred onto others and comment onto others, because it's just rude. I think that black people as a whole really push colorism way more than they need to. I feel like as black people, we have enough against us coming from white people and Asian people. We have enough racism coming against us. So in our own community, the least we could do is band together and be as one person. Because even me, as a lighter skinned black girl, I'm not even light skinned, yeah? I'm clearly black, I'm brown, but I'm just of a lighter skin tone. I've had people like make jokes about me being like a house slave and like all sorts, like, and obviously people may think that obviously it's banter and this doesn't affect people, but people like me, this does affect me. Like, I do find it offensive. Like, I know they may feel like it's a joke, but at the end of the day, like, it's not a joke. Like, because if I then called you a field slave or said, oh, you're dark, so you're in the field, it would be a whole big issue. So at this point, I think we should all just stop the race talk, the comment talk, lighty versus dark skin, brown skins. Like, it's just not needed. And I feel like, although they don't want to admit it, a lot of dark skinned women, in my opinion, this is my opinion, a lot of dark skinned women like to be upset towards lighter skinned women for being born lighter. Whose fault was that? That's just black genetics. I've got cousins that are lighter skinned, like white people tone, and I've got people in my family that are dark skinned. Like, it happens where black people, we come out different skin tones. In your own household, you could have a dark skinned child and a light skinned child. That's just the way that it works. So I don't understand why people are now slandering people for being even born lighter. To me, it's just all one big issue, and people need to work on themselves personally and loving themselves as a black person and that the skin that they're in before they want to come and terrorize other black people for being their skin color. This can all affect someone, and they can all be internalizing feelings that can then turn into self-hatred. So I think as a whole, we need to work on uplifting the next generation, because clearly the generation above myself has clearly failed at that. They've clearly been self-hating, and that's why they've clearly been self-hating. Do you know what I'm saying? The generation above me, they clearly did not like themselves at the time that they were making these tweets. So at the end of the day, I just think it's a thing where everybody needs to build self-confidence in their blackness. Being black to me is a privilege. It's beautiful. It's just something that we should all be very proud of. And yeah, we should just keep pushing. So I want to end this video on a positive light note, because I don't want everybody to feel so down about the whole situation and stuff like that. I just want to say that as people, we need to just band together. There's more things to be worrying about than who's light skin and dark skin. There's a whole pandemic. People are dying every day, and people are out here worrying about, if dark skinned women get treated this way, or if dark skinned men get treated this way, or if black women are desirable, or black girl this, black girl that, black man this, black man that. We need to just band together and just be strong as one black unit, because we all go through the same issues. Whether you feel it's harder or not, we all go through the same issues and the same disadvantage in the world that we live in today. So yeah, let's just get it together, period. I'm out.
Young lady.